Hey Playas, how you dern? And welcome back to another episode of Playas Guide. I'm your host of Playas Guide for this episode, and this episode I'll be talking about the rarest games released in North America for the PS3. So I previously covered rare games for the PS1 and PS2, so please check out those videos if you're a Sony collector or just a video game collector who is interested in collecting different rarities for various consoles. So to start things off, we'll start it off with the rarest game on the PS3 that was technically not really released in North America, and that game is NBA Elite 11. So I'll tell you what I mean by it was technically not released. It was released as a mobile game, and the demo was released on the Xbox and PS3. However, it got a really poor reception, so EA decided to pull the game from the market. However, many copies did make it out to a few retailers or were somehow leaked, so it's expected that there's somewhere between 30 to 50. I know there's a pretty wide range there, but this is a very limited amount of copies of this game that got out there and into the hands now of collectors. So you may already know about this one. It's not going to be cheap if you're looking to pick it up. If you're not too concerned about this game, or you don't want to count it towards a complete PS3 collection, well then you're going to want to keep an eye out for a game called Africa. So Africa is a game that is similar to, I guess, to like Pokemon Snap, which is the most well-known game I can think of this style of like photography exploration. So I'm not really too sure what makes Africa really so rare. I know it wasn't a huge seller on the PS3, but it is widely regarded as a very rare game on the PS3. Combat Wings: The Great Battles of World War II is another game that I'm not too sure about why it is so rare, but it is rare. If you do a quick Google search of this game, you're actually going to have a little bit of trouble finding information on it. You're also not going to come across a copy too easily on eBay. You will probably come across a few copies here or there, but it's just, I found it was a hard one to search for online. But if you have any idea what makes these games rare, please let me know in the comments below. Blaze Blue Central Fiction. You might be familiar with this fighting game franchise, but this game, Central Fiction, when it was released, it was not dubbed in English. So a lot of people found out about this or bought the game and played it and were just not impressed or happy with the fact that there was no English translation. And this is one of the reasons that this game is so rare. Painkiller Hell and Damnation is the next rare game on this list, and this game experienced several delays upon its release and was not critically received very well at all. So this could be contributing factors into the game's rarity. NCAA Basketball 2010 was the last of the NCAA basketball games to be released, and it was announced that it was, I'm supposing that this was due to poor sales of previous games, and they didn't anticipate this one to sell very well, which, you know, it didn't, but I don't think it sold too terribly bad. Now there's another game, NCAA Football 2014, and this game is also another rare one to find. It follows that one up on this list because of a lawsuit against EA because they were using the likeness of several actual NCAA football players. Bleach Soul Resurrection is the next game on the list. This game also got poor reviews like a lot of the games on this list, and it also had mediocre sales. It wasn't received by audiences very well and did not sell many copies. Class of Heroes 2 on the PS3 was a dungeon crawler, which was not really a popular style of gameplay at the time. It still isn't a popular style of gameplay, except for amongst a few retro gamers who enjoy a lot of classic dungeon crawlers. And this is one of the reasons it didn't really sell too well on the PS3. It's also an Atlas game, and Atlas is notoriously known for having some shorter print runs. Legend of Spyro Dawn of the Dragon is the 10th game on this list, and it was the third installment in this Spyro series. Now, it was also the final installment in this Spyro series because at this time, Spyro had lost just about all of, if any, momentum that the franchise had at this point, and it was a big flop. The game wasn't necessarily bad. It did do okay on the Wii, but it didn't do great. Not a lot of people cared about Spyro, who would later be resurrected in the Skylanders series. But until then, this was the last game and was not a popular one. Alright, Playas, so those are the 10 rarest games on the PS3. I'll let you be the judge of how rare you really think they are, and you can leave a comment below letting me know. But there are still several other rare and uncommon and undervalued games on the PS3. Some of those games include Folklore, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle, Hyperdimension Neptunia, College Hoops 2K8, Arcania Complete Edition, F1 2013 and F1 2014, Hatsune Miku, Ghostbusters, Aquanauts Holiday, Rambo, Tears to Terria 2, Civil War, Under Defeat HD, El Chavo Kart, and No More Heroes. So I hope this gives you a good idea of what PS3 games you should be on the hunt for when you are out in your travels game hunting or at expos or game stores or flea markets or yard sales or wherever it is that you look for your video games. Now, the PS3 isn't exactly retro, and it might be too early to tell that these games are the true rares, but as it stands, these are the games that are beginning to stand out of the North American collection as the rare and uncommon games. Now, this may change a little bit over time. It is a little bit early to deem these games the rarest, I admit, but time will tell and we will see. I do think what I have here is compiled a pretty solid list of rare titles. Some of these are widely regarded as rare games on the PS3. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. It's free to do so. And if you're already a subscriber, thanks so much for subscribing and tuning in to this episode of Playas Guide. It is greatly appreciated. For now, keep it retro, and I'll catch you later, Playas.